Alright, let's just go. Like, we're so damn late. We're so damn late. We're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. Yes. Whoops. Alright.
Wiggle check.
Alright, there we go.
Checking out the thrust vector control, the steering on the booster. We use those inner 13 engines. Doing their one final dance before the big show. And we'll do that one more time after we cross that T-minus 40 gate.
Alright, looks like we're about a minute 14 seconds away from launch.
Alright, range continues to be green. Still not tracking any issues on vehicle or pad. 1 minute to go. As a reminder, we can hold at T-minus 40. We're not planning to. All right. We're through T-minus 40. Let's listen in. Flight Director Ty Huntington back in the seat. Take us through the final
Flight
seconds
Directors, go
until
for launch.
Yeah, go for launch. Oh. Okay. There we go. 15 seconds.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we have ignition. And
We have
liftoff.
Go Super Heavy, go Starship.
Very nice.
Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
This is the last Block 2 Starship to ever lift off. And there she goes into the sky.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Looks very pretty, I have to admit myself.
Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.
Looks good.
Booster and ship, nominal power and telemetry.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next on Max Q.
That's a really good view right there, I have to say. Look at that. Max Q. All 33 engines functioning nominally. Looks like everything is going so far good on the ascent.
So at this point, we've passed through that period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. The next thing we're looking forward to is going to be hot staging. So we've got 33 out of 33 Raptors lit. Super Heavy makes its way uphill. Hot staging is going to be coming up in just a little over a minute. At that point, we're going to see all but 3 of those Raptor engines on Super Heavy shut down. Our version of Miko. Most engines cut off instead of main engine. And then after that, we're going to release the clamps that are currently holding Starship to that hot stage adapter. It's then going to ignite its 6 Raptor engines to push it away from Super Heavy and then start making its flight uphill. So in about 30 seconds, we're going to see the engines start to shut down on Super Heavy. You'll see them kind of shut off in separate banks until we've just got those 3 center engines that never stop running for this process, and then looking for 6 ship Raptors.
There's that roll maneuver, I think. They're getting into orientation.
All right.
There you go, slowing down.
Miko coming up in about 10 seconds. . See the engines throttling down.
Booster engine cutoff.
Miko. Alright.
Ship ignition.
Okay, looks like everything went nominally. Yes.
Stage separation.
Boost back burn startup.
Ship looks a little bit wonky, but she looks
All
good
right,
so
successful hot staging maneuver. So we've got 12 of the 13 engines lit back up on boosters, so it's doing its boost back. Real excitingly,
Whoa.
though,
Chamber
we've got
pressure's
6
nominal.
out of 6 Raptors lit on ship there, so it's now going to continue to make its ascent into outer space. Meanwhile, this boost back is
Okay,
happening.
looks like
We're using those
stabilized.
13 engines, so everything, well, 12 out of the 13, and then we go down to 3, and then we're going to shut down for the end of boost back. That's sending super heavy back towards its planned splashdown zone in the Gulf. Right after we finish this boost back burn, we're also going to separate the hot stage. This will be the final time
Boost back
that
burn
we're
shutdown.
doing this. Is all right. There's the end of the boost back burn.
far. There we go.
Should be seeing the hot stage.
And the hot stage separated. Very nice.
So the hot stage separates. It's going to make its way down, also splash down in the Gulf. In the meantime, though, these 6 ship Raptors are going to continue firing for about 5 more minutes. Next up for the booster, though, is going to be its
Ooh,
landing
that's looking
burn.
pretty
There's a cool
nice.
tracking shot. We dumped some of the prop out on our way back in. All right, so for booster, this is one of the main things we're trying to get is going to be this landing burn. Oh, that's so you can see the hot stage kind of making its way towards the left side. So that's the bottom of the booster. It's about to pass right in front of where you can see some of that prop dump happening. They look like they're close together, but there's a good amount of distance between them, and the hot stage will go down and splash down in the Gulf while the booster comes back for its landing burn.
Alright. 62 kilometers. This will be
Starship
the
is on nominal trajectory.
last landing of a V2
All right.
booster.
Looking good on our trajectory, looking good on everything. Jake and Amanda, you guys with me down there?
Yeah, definitely. The crowd is gathering over here in the office. You can definitely feel the energy in here. Great to see that booster is making its way down to the splashdown zone in the Gulf.
Yeah, the shaking down here was absolutely nuts. The windows are still there, still intact, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, booster's coming down. We're at about 30
Booster
kilometers.
FPSO
About.
saved.
All right, yeah, and as we approach that landing, just like
Ooh.
tower catches, we will be doing a 13-engine landing burn to slow down. This time it will be in a
That's
V3
atmospheric heating.
configuration.
You can see the engines glowing.
And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the booster is using 4 hypersonic grid fins to
Ooh,
guide
there it
itself
is.
through atmospheric entry towards its landing site.
And we're just
Ship
about
chamber
20
pressure's
seconds
nominal.
away
Nominal.
from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite the center 13 engines, then bring that down to 5 to slow down the booster for landing. And finally, that will come down to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about
Right.
200
There
meters
we
in
have
the air.
ignition.
So booster is gonna see a bit of a
All engines ignited, despite that other one not igniting earlier. Whoa, you have 5 engines there. Wonder if they did that on purpose. Down to 3. Hovering.
Booster landing burn shutdown.
And shut down. Goodbye.
And there we heard it. Booster landing burn shut down.
And
We saw a 13
Oh,
to 5 to 3 V3 demonstration. And into the water we go.
there we go,
Wow,
fellas.
that was absolutely awesome. If you can even hear us right now, congrats to the whole SpaceX team. So far, so good for today. That was incredible.
All right, great stuff, guys. I'm jealous of the crowd. All right, back to ship. Ship's still making its way. We've got a little under 2 minutes left in this ascent burn, so we've got all 6 Raptor engines still firing. So the next major milestone we're going to be looking for is SECO. That's our second stage engine cutoff. That's should be coming right at about 8 minutes and 58 seconds into flight, so we've got about a minute 20 still to go. really cool to see Booster go through that landing burn. That was one of our like really key demonstrations we wanted to try and do today. Is that's mimicking what we're going to be hopefully doing. Oh, we just got our sonic boom, sounds like, from the booster coming back.
Okay, fellas.
All right, less than a minute to go. So we are going to see the 3 RVACs, the vacuum optimized engines, shut down first, and then we'll shut down those 3 center engines. So we should be a little under a minute until SECO. Just a reminder, this is putting us into a suborbital trajectory, so we're intentionally just going slow enough that we're not going to achieve full orbit. This puts us on a course where those engines shut off, and no matter what, we're coming back.
Starship is in terminal guidance.
Okay,
In the Indian
terminal
Ocean. All right,
guidance.
terminal guidance. So we should start seeing the shutdowns come up in just a couple seconds. Less than 30 seconds to go in this ship ascent burn.
So, let's hope for a successful SECO over here.
Alright, RVACs have shut off.
RVACs shut down, and we still have the 3 sea levels.
3 more to go.
Almost there.
Ship engine cut off.
And we have SECO. Looks good to me. Alright.
Alright, all ship Raptors have shut
Nominal
down.
orbit insertion.
Nominal orbit insertion.
You just heard nominal orbital insertion, so we are on the path that we wanted to be. So we've got a ship back in space, a whole lot planned for it, lots more still to come. Great seeing Super Heavy make its way to the water, but I'm excited to see what ship can do in space. How's everybody doing down there?
Yeah, if you could hear the crowd behind us this whole time, people are definitely happy with how the day's been panning out so far. Definitely exciting to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today.
Yeah, and we guaranteed it at the start of the show, but it has been an awesome day so far. It's crazy. All this has happened in just 10 minutes. All the objectives were met on the booster, including that V3 style landing burn. So now all eyes are on the ship as we get ready for our in-space objectives. But we've got a few minutes until that next milestone, so sit tight, enjoy the views, enjoy the space jams. We'll be back at T plus 16 minutes for payload deploy.
Alright, so fellas, that was a pretty successful launch, I'd say so myself. You can see they're venting stuff in the engine bay, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, it ain't like there's anybody here to correct me anyways, considering there's nobody watching this stream. But it's alright. As you can see, the sunset is coming over the horizon over there. It's doing pretty fantastic. We're 11 minutes into our launch, and at the 16-minute mark, which is approximately 5 minutes from now, we'll be seeing our first major milestone in this mission. Well, it already happened last time, but it's another... Well, they're just trying to figure out what they're gonna do here, so... They're just gonna do a payload deploy, similar to the one at the last flight. So let's hope we see that go well. And I'm not sure, but I believe they're gonna do an in-space relight, I think. But we had a very good launch today. All the objectives on ascent was completed. And I apologize for starting the stream so late because, you know what, let's probably not talk about it. But yeah, we have our 11th flight test. This is the last flight of a Block 2 ship and booster. Next up will be Block 3, and that's the upgraded version of Starship with a brand new booster, a brand new ship, and a brand new launch tower. So can't wait for that to come up, probably in a few months or so. But so far nothing's really happening, so we'll be right back. Oh, looks like we're starting with payload deployment, so let's just slap on the commentary.
Currently venting down the nose cone, essentially the payload area of Starship, as we get ready to open up this payload door. We were able to do this successfully for the very first time on our last flight, on Flight 10.
Oh, there it is, there it is. The door's opening.
Hal got ahead of me. Looks like he's opening up the payload door already.
Okay, I hope we can see the Starlinks coming out from this view. That'll be really good.
All right, looks like we got the door open. All right, so payload door is open. Next up, gonna be to start deploying these Starlink simulators. They are roughly the same size as the V3 Starlink satellites that Starship's going to be carrying. That's going to add some pretty crazy capacity. We'll run through the numbers in a little bit. We were able to do this for the very first time ever on our last flight, and so this will be another test. We made a couple of tweaks to the rails for deploying this based off of what we saw last time, but excited to see these get out the door. Our next iteration of Starship's also going to have a more powerful PEZ. It's going to deploy these at a little bit.
Look, you can see the light coming out there on the right side. You might be able to get views from the outside. That'll be really interesting.
I mean, that view on your left, so you're basically, that would be if you were sitting at the very top of the nose cone looking down. So there's kind of a short stack. There's 4 on either side, so 8 total. When we start flying Starlinks, for their actual deploy missions, we're going to be carrying stacks of about 60. So much larger stack once we start flying these operationally, but still doing a little bit of a short just for this payload deployed today.
Looks like we got a little bit of movement there, Dan.
Coax it out. Get it moving, Jake.
There we go. All right. First
going out.
one
It's going out.
Going out.
There it is. Goodbye. Oh, and they cut off the outside view. What in the world? Bruh. Oh, there it is.
First one's deployed. Getting ready for the second one here. We do a little reset back to the center position.
Yeah, it takes about a minute for each one.
There we go, there we go. And it's very clean.
Looks real smooth too. They made a couple of tweaks to those rails. If you watched the last ones, it had a couple of bumps on the way out, but moving out super clean this time.
Well, he's right, it's pretty clean this time. And nah, that's very nice now. But what's so funny is that only engineers can truly ever understand how fun it is to watch a bike chain launch metal sheets into outer space. Yes. There we go. Looks like the mechanism is getting ready.
Yeah, and anybody that's been following Starship, you know, Starlink's kind of the MVP for these flight tests, where it's not only giving us the views we're seeing right now, but also just real-time data through every phase of flight. So we've got a couple dozen cameras on Starship. We've also got a bunch of cameras spread across the globe, including out in the Indian Ocean, where we've got our fun buoys floating. There goes another one.
Just launch them out, fellas. Launch them out one at a time.
And I mean, we're using Starlink to bring all of this together. It's our drone shots you see here from our great team down here at Starbase, all connected. So Starlink not only giving us cool views off the planet, but also on the planet, help bring everybody along for all these Starship flights.
I like how you can see the retrograde line on the ship. It's pretty good.
think that's number 4. Somebody check my math.
It is number 4.
Yeah, we've got 4 Starlink terminals on the outside of Starship. He uses that to talk to the constellation. And through that, we actually get about 120 megabits of bandwidth for our downlink. That's our real-time HD video, all of our telemetry. So it's not just kind of giving us these cool views inside, but it's giving all that engineering data in real time, including re-entry, but normally a plasma layer builds up and blocks you out. Starlink, powerful enough of a frequency that we're able to kind of punch through that and still get that live view.
Oh, they got rid of the flap cam. I'm so disappointed. They should have done something about that. I'm just joking. There it is, another one. Let's get the bike chain working. There.
Alright, next one out the door.
Oh, yes! Yes!
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Sigma.
Alright, yeah, Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of who have never had connectivity before.
Yes, there's another one. Out the door you go.
Right, today Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets with over 7 million active customers and counting. To meet the global growing demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory over in Bastrop, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard Kit.
Let's get another one out there.
Yeah, and one thing to note about this satellite deploy is that they will be following the same suborbital trajectory of the ship. So these dummy sats will not be going in orbit. We do expect them to burn up on re-entry.
Come on.
All right, couple more to go. I promise one of these days we'll deploy in daylight. But we're basically trading deploy in the dark so we get those re-entry views for the daytime.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yes, look at them engineering pilots flying up into space.
All right, I think we got one more to go.
Last one. And she's up. That's right. Now, I'm sure if we go ahead and compare the speeds of the deploy this time compared to the deploy last time, I think this was way faster and looked way cleaner. So I think that's an improvement, definitely.
Alright, now with payload deploy complete, Starship will now close its payload door and continue to coast around Earth to the Indian Ocean. We still have a ton of major events to come today, including Raptor Relight at about T plus 37 minutes. That will be followed by atmospheric reentry and splashdown. So with that, we're going to go on another quick coast.
Yeah, if you can hear us.
Man, these guys sure are hyped. And looks like the door closed. Yeah, the door is closing. Alright, it's very good.
And enjoy the space jams. Again, we'll be back in just a few minutes for Raptor Relight and then head back for reentry.
Alright, so you can join us back here again at 37 minutes because well, that's when they're gonna relight the engines. The in-space relight, it's just gonna be one sea level Raptor engine that will, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything actually because it's so tiny. You need a proper re-entry burn to deorbit, but it's just a demonstration. And so now, before we proceed, I want to check actually how, I would like to check how quickly the difference in time between the last payload deploy and this payload deploy. So let's see here. Starship payload deploy. I have no idea. Where is this? I have to pull up the entire 10th flight live stream in order to figure this crap out. Oh my days. Oh well. Let's see here. Okay, so in this one here, payload deploy started around, well, for this current flight, payload deploy started around around 19 minutes and 28 seconds, and it finished at let me write this down. You know, next time in a live stream I'll probably have like a whiteboard here or something so that I can, I don't know, make it more interesting for you guys instead of just having some random dude talking to you. So all the starlings are out by approximately 25 minutes and 6 seconds. And then Starship Flight 10 so that's about a 5 minute and 30 second difference. So that's 5 minutes and 30 seconds here for the entire payload deploy. It's around that. And then we can check flight 10. Whoops, not that one. I'm having a hard time looking for the flight 10 coverage here. Yes, there we go. Now let's analyze the deployment here. Oh, I'm noticing that in the previous launch, the view from the payload bay was slightly more, well, let's just say ugly, but this time it got better, so that's pretty good. If we were to look at the old live stream, actually, it's pretty ugly. Well, everything was pretty rudimentary because it was their first time, so it's understandable. So all right. You know what? Actually, never mind. According to my calculations, according to my calculations. This one's around 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and this one's around... That's around 5 minutes. Yeah, it's around 5 minutes and 30 seconds as well. It doesn't really matter, honestly. It's the same time. You know, we should stop worrying about minimal things. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Let's resume commentary at 37 minutes, so that's around 5 minutes, or 8:01 a.m. where I am. Yeah. Alright.
All right, welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, you did miss some exciting stuff because Starship successfully deployed its second ever payload, 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And now we're expecting the relight of a single sea-level Raptor engine in space coming up here just after T plus 37 minutes. So about a minute left to go.
Yep, just a little while. I think we're tracking to 37 in around 49 seconds or so. So we should be just about a minute and a half where, again, as Amanda just said, we're going to relight one of those center engines. This will be the third time that we've tried this. We did it successfully back on Flight 10, and then we did it for the very first time back on Flight 6. This is not a deorbit burn. This is demonstrating essentially all of the systems you would need to do a deorbit burn. So that's obviously your Raptor engine, and then also your header tanks, your smaller tanks in the nose cone, where we have liquid oxygen, liquid methane in a smaller, more easily pressurized container, which we can use for on-orbit burns. And we're also going to tap into those when we do our landing burn. So this will be a critical capability. Once we go to full orbital missions, you'll have to do a deorbit burn to break out of orbit, send it back down to Earth. But in this instance, we're already on our way back down towards Earth. So this is just going to demonstrate the capability of turning one of these engines on.
Yep, that's exactly what I said. The deorbit, it's just a deorbit burn demonstration. It's not necessarily the deorbit burn. They're doing it so they can test the engine, but I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably already know how this works, right? There, Raptor ignition. Should see it right there. Very nice. And shutdown. Very good. Nice.
Raptor team. And then there we heard nominal second orbital insertion. All right, so congrats everyone on the milestone. That was awesome to see. We're 3 for 3. We're gonna take another break and we'll be back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. We'll see you soon.
Okay guys, here's the lunch. Anyways, let's have oh wait, what? Anyways guys, there's a relight. Anyways, here's another break. Yeah, these guys and their breaks, you can never get enough. As you can see, what's our status? We're at 136 kilometers, so we're falling back down to Earth. And you can see the atmospheric heating over there. Whoa. You can see some interesting plasma formations over there. Looking very nice. Re-entry should be coming up in about 20 or so minutes. I believe so. You can see minor amounts of plasma building up on the bottom part of the heat shield there, and that's quite understandable considering what's happening right now. For those of you who are not informed, the heat shield, the atmosphere extends all the way out to space, so there is some bits of atmosphere left beyond 100 kilometers, but it's so minimal that really nobody even gives a crap anyways. Like, that's why everybody says that 100 kilometers so the atmosphere ends. Actually goes all the way up to 1,000, but the pressure is so small, it doesn't really make a big difference. But as you can see, with the velocity of Starship being so fast, and it being so big, and it being so dark at the same time, all of these factors combined gives us that small, minimal glow at the bottom of the spacecraft. As you can see, the city lights are over there. I don't know what country or what continent that is, but looks pretty nice. Oh, hello there. Yeah. As you can see, we're currently 125 kilometers. Looks like our orientation is righting itself. So looks like, yeah, I've always been interested about those plasma formations. I don't know necessarily what causes them, but it looks really pretty. That's all I have to say. You'll get no scientific explanation from me, that's all I have to tell you. So let's just keep by and let's let's see what happens, because this is gonna be a very interesting re-entry. The very last re-entry of a Block 2. And soon enough, we should actually get significant heating. Entry interface. We're approaching entry interface. And as you can see, we're off the coast of Africa. So I guess those city lights are coming from Johannesburg, actually. South Africa, I believe. But yeah, we're getting a more consistent plasma stream over here. And soon enough, we should be heading into the daytime and landing in the Indian Ocean. As you can see, our velocity is going up. We are accelerating because we are falling down towards the Earth. And looks like the ship is pitching upright, which is good. We're starting to get that plasma dynamics over here. That's more consistent now compared to the flashes earlier. So let's hope that everything goes to plan. That's all I'm hoping for. All right. Look at that. I apologize if the stream gets quiet whenever I stop talking. Yeah, that's just how it is. I mean, if I put the music, it's just gonna be kind of weird when you know what? I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. But we're at around 108 kilometers now, just skimming over the 100 kilometer mark. Starting to see some heating over here. And that's the unmistakable flow of plasma. It's a very nice orange. Alright, 104 kilometers. Literally almost there. We're almost there.
All right, welcome back, everyone. The ship is currently re-entering Earth's atmosphere. As a reminder, we don't plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, the light show has already begun. You can see plasma starting to build on the windward side of the rocket there. And, you know, re-entry is a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship systems perform. Re-entry is also extremely demanding portion of flight because we need the ship to scrub off all of the energy we used to launch the rocket. So remember, the 33 engines plus the 6 engines on ship that we used to get up into space, we now are using aerobraking essentially to scrub off all that energy. And of course, Starlink is a big part of this, giving us the views we have right now, and also letting us gather as much data as possible, which again is really the main reason why we do these flights. And the view we have right now is actually a really good example. As we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, we have some tiles on the leeward side of the flaps here, and we have some different mechanisms, some stud out, basically to see if these tiles will hang on. And you know, we can see already here, it looks like we kept most of them, but I think I see a couple there that are no longer there. So the thermal team is definitely going to be digging into that and taking that data to help us iterate on V3. So yeah, Starlink provides us with one more path to collect data and help us rapidly iterate Starship's design.
And if the ship does manage to make it all the way to re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, or more than 5 times the speed of sound. Re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with spacecraft.
Little side note here, as you can see, we're starting to decelerate now instead of accelerating, which means that we're in a good trajectory here.
Atmosphere creates a plasma field around the vehicle.
Yeah, and that blanket of plasma distorts communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication. All right, so big picture here, Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. So that means we need to do a propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes, which is what our Dragon spacecraft uses, or a runway like the Space Shuttle. Propulsive landing enables more rapid reusability.
Now, as the ship makes its way back to Earth, we should start hearing some callouts when we hear entry max heating and entry max Q. That means the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through all of those, that's a pretty good sign that we're doing well.
Yeah, and we heard flaps have control of the vehicle now.
Ooh,
Okay, that's a
really
great
nice.
shot there. You're starting to see the plasma build up. So we will hear a call out when the ship is transonic and then subsonic. Transonic refers to the period of flight where the velocities of airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. All right, a lot of numbers coming up here, but for reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most fly around Mach 0.74 to Mach 0.85, which is 480 to 575 miles per hour, or 770 to 930 kilometers per hour. Right now, we're going a little over 26,000 kilometers per hour. So compare that to the airplane at 930. It's like pretty crazy how fast we're going here. All right, and after we hear the call out that Starship is transonic, we should hear the call out that Starship is subsonic. Subsonic, of course, refers to the speed that is much less than the speed of sound. So at that point, the ship's velocity will be starting to slow down, and we'll be looking a little bit more like some of our suborbital flights from, at this point, almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, so re-entry so far is looking pretty good. You can see that plasma field. Also, again, with those missing tile experiments, especially, we're putting the ship through a lot today, but things are looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, we're looking good. I do want to remind people that we are pushing ship to the limits. We've done a lot of these missing tile tests. We did it back on Flight 10. Every time we do it, we throw something new and the ship makes it through. This time, we're really pushing it. We've removed these tiles in some of the spots that see the highest level of heating. And we remove tiles that have zero backup protection underneath. So there's essentially just bare steel. It's one of the heat of re-entry.
Whoa. Whoa, that's interesting.
And so do not be surprised if this is not a very smooth flight on the way down. But again,
Certainly
this is
interesting.
intentional. We are trying to find what are the limits for a ship. How resilient are we to these
Whoa.
different issues that could pop up? If we lose a tile anywhere on the vehicle, we want to know what that ultimate impact is going to be. So we've got a couple missing. We had a bunch pulled over the primary fuel, the LOX tanks, everything. This one, we've got a tile missing right on top. So that's going to see some of the highest temperatures during this re-entry, and there's just bare steel right underneath it. So we're going to see if Starship's robust enough to pull through that. Also have some tiles missing around the aft flaps, specifically on the leading edge. So again, we're getting a really good look right at the leading edge. That's getting really intense heating. So again, gonna see if it can make it through. See if all the flaps hold on, see if Starship holds together. But definitely could be a bumpy ride, but this is why we're flying. This is why we're flying in this part of the world. This is why we're putting Starship through these flight tests to really understand what its limits are.
I I really don't like the commentator. This specific guy, like nothing against him. He's a good commentator, but every time he starts talking about like some sort of, the Starship is being put through some serious stress test. Something terrible goes wrong for some reason because he's talking about it. I don't want him talking about this kind of stuff. Okay, he can talk about anything else.
Drop off velocity a little bit quicker.
Also, there was a random part where we saw like sparks flying off, and then the team was like, "Oh!" So I hope that's not anything significant. But apparently we're approaching peak heating according to the announcement. Let's go. There's the daylight coming through.
Looks like we can see some clouds down there as we pass through 70 kilometers altitude.
Yeah, the sun's starting to come up again. There we go.
There we go.
Damn, she's burning. Well, in a good way, okay? In a good way.
Skirt is intact so far this time. If you watched
Stop
Flight
jinxing.
10, you saw we entered with a little
it.
bit missing. That was ultimately traced to a little bit of build-up.
Oh
We
my
dumped
days,
prop
bro. I
on the
swear,
way.
this
We
guy
had a little
jinxes
bit of
it.
solid propellant build-up, and then either static discharge or the plasma ignited it, took out a tiny bit of that skirt, some of the aft flaps, but Starship, again, was able to fight through it, make it all the way to that landing burn. We addressed that,
Damn,
changed
she's
some
really
of our prop
going in.
dump con-ups, though.
6
so
to 8 kilometers to go.
should not be seeing that this time around.
Don't jinx it. Please, bro. If this guy jinxes it, I'm gonna lose everything.
And as a reminder, in addition to these missing tile tests, we're doing kind of a unique flight on the way in. It's going to do what we call a banking maneuver. So while we're still going supersonic and even hypersonic, we're doing kind of a banking turn.
Yep,
And
it's doing it
then
right now.
we'll do a pretty aggressive turn right as we get into the subsonic and start doing our belly flop. And that's designed to essentially be the approach that we would do on a return to launch site in the tower catch. So don't be surprised if we see the ship start to turn and make a few maneuvers as it makes its way down to the Indian. And fun fact, even though we're doing all this turning, we're essentially targeting the exact same spot in the Indian Ocean we went to last time.
So right now it's probably doing like the shuttle maneuvers. It's like basically banking to the right and then banking to the left, back and forth. It looks like we have another view there. You can see the plasma trail behind the vehicle. It's very good. Altitude 65.3 kilometers and 22,000 kilometers per hour. Seeing the Indian Ocean. We're pretty fast, aren't we?
Might be on the one on the other side. We had some tiles removed with no backups behind it. So again, we're really trying to stress some of the most sensitive areas around starships, where basically if you lose a tile, it's the worst possible spot. And if we're able to make it through this, then that tells us quite a bit about just how resilient this vehicle is.
That's nice, Danny.
Yeah, and that shot we just had earlier was looking at what we call the business end of Starship with all the Raptor engines. And those are the engines that we're going to be expecting to light for that flip and landing burn, hopefully in about 10 minutes once we get through reentry. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, looking at E3, that's the one we did the relight on. So it's 2 for 2 so far. We'll see if it can go 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We're getting some ablation over there on the catch pins. Well, and maybe not ablating, but it's glowing really hard. And we're banking,
Right,
we're banking.
See that speed just continue to bleed off under 20,000 kilometers an hour.
We're banking hard. Just like the
Ship's
shuttle,
still
man.
holding together.
60 km to go. 60
Yeah, and if you
km
look
to
in the
go.
bottom right, looks like we've made it all the way to the Indian Ocean. We're coming up kind of near Australia, the west side of Australia there. So pretty crazy. We're only 56 minutes in, and we've made it all the way, halfway around the world.
So yeah, this thing is pretty fast. Halfway around the world in just 56 minutes. That's incredible. Ooh.
It's actually a good demonstration of a future capability we hope to have on Starship, where we will do point-to-point transport on Earth. So essentially travel anywhere in the world in about an hour or so, which is going to be pretty crazy. Imagine going from
She's
New
banking
York
really
to
hard.
Sydney in 1 hour instead of the 20 hours it takes currently.
It's banking so hard, like incredibly hard. Let's hope the flaps can control this. I'm pretty sure they can. They're SpaceX guys. There's nothing to worry about. Oh. Gosh.
And a reminder, so this camera is, we see some of the heat rate picking up a little bit.
Whoa.
And this camera is embedded right in the end of one of those forward flaps.
Oh,
so
it's
you
hard
see it
over
moving
to the
around.
right.
That's the
Oh
flap
my gosh, that's
adjusting
crazy.
to maintain control.
Oh,
It's like we're getting
that's
into
almost,
our bank maneuver.
That's almost a 90-degree angle. Holy crap. Bro is surfing. He's surfing the waves. Come
Now
on,
power
hold it.
sliding through the atmosphere.
External temperatures
hold it.
are coming down.
Temp's going down. Temp's going down. The pressure's going up. Come on, hold it, hold it. Don't lose control now. Not at this moment. Look at that discoloration of the steel. It's really hot in there.
Vehicle is now at maximum dynamic pressure.
Alright. Looks like it's coming back. G-forces are 1.7. We're losing a lot of speed now.
Alright, that was basically our reverse
Look at
max
that.
Q.
That's
So
beautiful.
most aerodynamic stress that it's going to see during re-entry, we just passed through
1.8
it. So we're
Gs.
past that. We're past peak heating. Ship's still holding together.
Come on, you got this.
So we're currently in this bank maneuver. We're going to see it kind of roll over and do a pretty significant shift
50 kilometers.
as we get down closer to the subsonic speeds.
1.9 Gs. And we have reached max G-force, I believe. 1.9 to 1.8.
Yeah, that bank maneuver that Dan's mentioning is all in part of us to learn about the guidance, navigation, and control
Looks like it's
for
good.
return to launch site missions. So in the near future, we're hoping to return the ship back to the same pad we just took off on 59 minutes ago, and we've got to do some of these pretty dynamic bankings to make that trajectory work out.
All right, the light show kind of calming down as we're starting to move into the lower parts of the atmosphere. We should hit transonic, so hitting that transition between moving faster than the speed of sound and below the speed of sound in just about 3.5 minutes. Our landing burn should happen right around
looks like we're stable.
an hour and 6 minutes after launch, so we should be just about 6 minutes away from that. You can see lots of daylight. Everybody cross your fingers, see if our range team is able to get out there and provide any surprise views as Starship makes its way down. Oh, it's like they heard me. Ready and waiting, let's go.
Dan, you just spoke that view into existence there. And again, all brought to us by
RTS banking
Starlink.
maneuver has started.
All right, there we go. So we're now starting into our really heavy bank maneuver. And this does almost like a half circle loop to our actual trajectory. We're heading to the same exact splashdown point, but we're kind of doing a more roundabout way to get there, where it's this kind of big, long half moon loop and then a really aggressive and a twist right at the very end. And that would line us up with the launch tower Starship, on a return to launch site, would fly over the tower, do a quick landing burn flip, and then come down for catching the arms.
How about that S-38 decal there, staying strong on that view we just had?
Good to see the numbers back on.
Yeah.
All right, should be hitting transonic in about 2.5 minutes.
Alright, so looks like we're coming to the
Landing
atmosphere.
flip coming up in about 4. Pretty clouds there in the Indian Ocean today. Again, yeah, we changed our launch times. We launch in the evening now, so we get these daytime views down in the Indian Ocean. One of the things we're really looking for, the reason we have the drone, other than, yeah, that looks really cool, is we're able to kind of see the ship. We can only see so much from these cameras. You can't see like the vast majority of the heat shield. So we throw these buoys out there. We've got there's...
You spoke it again, Dan. There it is.
They're playing with me in the control room. All right. But we have these buoys out there. We have these drones that we're trying to see externally how the heat shield held up. Everybody saw from Flight 10 it had a little bit of a paint job, a little bit of a reddish hue. That was from those metallic tiles that we had tested, kind of oxidizing really rapidly in that plasma and then spreading those little oxide particles all over the heat shield. No metal tiles on this flight, so not expecting to see that.
Dynamic pressure is coming down.
Hope nobody gets seasick. All right, coming up on transonic shortly. It's about 2.5 minutes of landing burn.
That's crazy. It's banking so hard.
Yeah,
but we have
once we
buoy
get
views.
to around the 15
also, I'm having a little bit of
mark,
audio technical, so
that's where we have a lot of flight history.
Starship is transonic, starting the belly flop phase of flight.
Yep, that belly flop phase that we perfected in the suborbital campaigns, we're entering that now.
Holy crap, she's banking hard, isn't she?
Right, starting to get those Raptors ready. Should be 2 minutes away from landing burn. Again, we're going to do a flip. After we ignite those engines, we'll go from 3 down to 2 for the final phase of the landing burn and look for another soft splashdown, hopefully by our buoy and drone, which are hanging out, ready and waiting for a ship.
Seeing all 3 center engines have entered the chill phase.
All right, less than a minute to go.
The ship is making its turn for final approach.
And here's this kind of aggressive final turn that would essentially position it so it's right behind the launch and catch tower.
That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Look at that. Look at that. 2.7 kilometers. Almost
Flaps
down.
holding strong.
Almost down.
Landing burn in just under 20 seconds.
Oh.
Ship landing
Come on, come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it, lad. Yes. Flip, 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 flip. Whoa,
There's our
whoa,
landing burn.
Whoa, whoa. Come on, mate. Yes.
3 down to 2.
Starship has landed.
And it's touchdown. That's right. That's right. Boom. Oh.
As we said, we're not planning on recovering the ship today. Hey, welcome back to Earth, Starship.
Very
We
good.
are down in the
Congrats,
Indian
team.
Ocean.
Even though they're not really my team, but congrats everybody.
Let them here at Starbase. What a day.
What a flight.
Oh. All right. Welcome back to Earth, ship. What a day. A whole lot more to go through. As you just saw, everybody here at Starbase pretty hyped. Hey, Tyler, out of Hawthorne, how's everybody holding up?
Thank you, Dan. We had a fantastic time watching. It was another exciting Starship Flight test in the books, and we hope that you enjoyed those Starlink views too. So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here and around the company. So many employees contribute to the Starship program as we continue to iterate and make progress towards a multi-planetary future. So that wraps it up for us here in Hawthorne. Thank you for tuning in, and back to you guys.
Yeah, what an incredible launch today. We had successful liftoff. Booster completed its objective, successfully splashed down over in the Gulf. Obviously, we saw another amazing Starlink deploy as well from ship.
Yeah, we made it through that re-entry, testing all the different experience. We had missing tiles, gave us quite the light show. We had that Raptor relight, 3 for 3. That was ahead of re-entry, of course. And then that awesome splashdown that we just saw, including that dynamic banking maneuver to simulate RTLS when we returned to the launch site. So yeah, maximum excitement, and Starship delivered.
Definitely.
Congrats.
All right. Congrats to everybody. Congrats to SpaceX. We're ending the stream right here, guys. I guess, well, it's, well, I'm busy. That's all I have to say. We're ending the stream right now. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. We'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
Look at this pattern, bro. It's not straight. It's not lying straight. Maybe it is now, but what the heck?
There she goes. We have separation.
Firefly
This is an outro.
Separation confirmed.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Stages are ignited.
Okay, very nice.
We're operating at just
Whoa,
a higher
whoa, whoa, whoa,
frequency.
whoa, whoa!
That's
What
not
the hell
we
is
wanna
that?
See, so we just saw some of.
Boom! Well, thank you guys so much for watching. It was a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure having all of you here. Yeah. Thank you for the fellows who did actually tune in. You guys are legends. So, good morning, good evening, good night, and goodbye.